Hey guys, it's Lisa Queen here. Today we are going to be covering the installation of a Redhead steering gearbox into a second-gen Cummins pickup truck, four-wheel drive, obviously. In case you guys missed it, I already put one of these on the third gen, and now it is Aloy's turn for a Redhead steering gearbox. These are by far the greatest gearboxes, specifically for Dodge trucks and specifically for the second gens. That is these guys, this is their bread and butter, is these second gens. So let's get into the installation. All right, so this is what we're working with. As you can see in the second gens, they're much farther forward than on the third gens. This gearbox is actually pouring oil out of right here. That's part of the reason I wanted to replace it. Not only that, but it's old, and I would like to make sure that all my steering is good on this truck, considering how loose this box is. So definitely is due for replacement. What we're going to do is we're going to leave this hooked up here, and we're going to just undo it right here. And then we're going to undo this shaft bolt right here and take it all the way out and pry this shaft up. And then this doesn't have any cooler lines like on the third gen, so you're not going to be able to like neatly drain the oil. So what we're going to do is we're going to unhook everything and loosen all the mounting bolts for it first. Then we're going to take off one of these lines up here and let it drain the oil out of it as much as it can. It's going to make a mess. It's going to make a mess regardless. Just have an oil pan ready, but that's what we're dealing with. All right, so we're going to take the seatbelt. Main purpose is to make sure that this thing doesn't move. That is the main function of doing this. This just kind of helps hold it. So if you want a better vision, like I said, all this does is keep the steering wheel from turning, because when you unhook your steering shaft from your gearbox, this can turn freely. And you don't want this to turn and unclock your steering wheel. So this just helps keep it in one place. All right, so the first thing is to get this pitman arm off gearbox, and this is 1 5/16 inches. I've seen a lot of people ask this on a lot of different Hate Dodge pages, that no, these pitman arms never mount up all the way flush to the gearboxes, by the way. It is a tapered shaft on these gearboxes, and it just presses on there to a specific specification, and that's where it sits. It's not supposed to be flush. I got this nifty little puller right here, which is specifically for pitman arm. It's like $15 out of Riley's. Let's see if I can do this without dropping this on me. Here's the nut. For the sake of not dropping this on myself, we are going to screw this nut back on. With that taper on there. Really tight. This is scary. So I tried one of my other pullers and ended up breaking one of the feet. So I set them over it, and I put the original pitman arm puller on there, and got it tightened to where it was starting to bend the puller, because it is bending the puller. We're gonna hit it with the air hammer. It's getting to where I don't know how much more this is gonna take before it just snaps this freaking tool. We're gonna have to go get another one. One new puller later, and an air hammer, and it has come loose. Splines on that don't surprisingly look okay for what it is. Let's see if we can get this to sit there. There we go. Alright, so I did turn this shaft a little bit so I could access this bolt easier because it's freaking tight. And then I put the seatbelt back on, but we're going to take out this bolt, and the shaft slides right off. Alright, so these 3 bolts are the mounting bolts for the power steering pump. They are 21 millimeter. Alright, we're going to leave that sort of threaded in there because we still need to loosen them lines. It's very important to inspect your frame on both sides because these are notorious for cracking. So it's very important to inspect your frame because you might think you have a bad gearbox, and in reality you might have a bad gearbox, but you might also have a cracked frame. That's what happened on my 2500 after I put 35-inch tires on it. So those brackets are actually important. Those braces that they make, those are actually useful. All right, we're going to take one of these lines off. Let's see if the 18 millimeter line wrench fits better. Definitely better. Ouch! This it. Alright, we're ready to pull this out. It's still kind of dripping, but it's okay. Just for reference, the second fitting up there has a hose going to it, and if it's OEM, it's got these weird metal clamp things that are like pinch clamps. Just cut those off, and if you still can't get the hose off, cut it off as close to the nipple as you can, or as close to the fitting nipple as you can. There should be plenty of hose that you can just stick it back on the fitting and put a real clamp on it later. If you have an actual gearbox failure, or pump failure, make sure you really flush the fluid out of these. We do not. The pump is actually fairly new on this, and the gearbox has not failed, it's just loose. Okay. See if we can get this down without crushing my face. Alright, here's the old gearbox. So I got I know it's kind of hard to see, but got a new O-ring on the hard line up there. I got a new O-ring on the fitting that I then installed into the gearbox. So we're going to go ahead and get this gearbox mounted up there. This is so much better than the 3rd gens. All nice. this off. So now we should be able to take this and rotate it. Line up. Alright, so once you get it rotated around enough, make sure you don't rotate it in a full circle. Once you find that sweet spot, it'll key way up and it'll push right on there. And then we can install that bolt. Alright, next thing we're going to do is this hose right here, we're going to get a new, this is when we cut, we're going to get a new hose clamp for it, but that one goes right there. I'm going to go get a new hose clamp for that first. But this hard line, right, I have the new O-ring on it. Get it all cleaned off. And that can also install into its little place. Alright, so now we're going to get the pitman arm put on here. If you're by yourself, you should be able to just turn your little steering shaft back and forth to line this up. Helps to have a light shine through the, there we go, beautiful. Splines right up. Make sure it's splined good before you try to put the nut on there and the washer. And it's very important, I know I haven't shared torque specs yet, but this is the most important thing to actually torque, because this is supposed to be pressed on there. So it's very important to actually torque this pitman arm nut. We're going to tap this up there a little bit. Alright, so this torques to 185 foot-pounds, okay? So if you're one of those people that just run shit on like that and call it good, and then complain later because it's loose or your threads are messed up, this is for you. Make sure you torque it to specification of 185. Here we go. 185. Fill it up with some oil and run the bleed procedure, which is very important. So I've seen a lot of people on the Dodge pages complain that they put a new gearbox on something or they put a new power steering pump on it and they can't seem to get it to turn. And they don't know. Like, they know enough to know that you need to cycle everything, but they don't know enough to know that it doesn't work unless you pick it up off the ground. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to fill it up with oil, and then we're going to pick it up off the ground with a jack, and you rotate the wheels back and forth just barely before lock, or you don't want it over relief for too long, and back and forth a bunch of times. Pump the brakes a bunch of times because of the booster. And there's a certain number of those that you're supposed to do, but the main concept here is to just make sure you're doing this off the ground with no load on it, and make sure you're following this procedure, because you don't want to damage your nice, pretty brand new pump. Always make sure to keep checking your fluid levels when you're doing this. You're not going to get this perfect the first time, so you're going to need to, what I would do is I'd bump it a couple of times, recheck the fluid, and then do your bleed procedure, and just do it like 1 or 2 times, recheck the fluid. 1 or 2 times, recheck the fluid. When it stops using fluid, then you can go ahead and do the full cycles and do it. I think it's up like 15 times each side that you need to do that. Make sure you're pumping the brakes, and then you can set it on the ground and test it. So. right, so that covers the installation of a Redhead steering gearbox in a second gen Cummins. Other little notes is make sure you put their little bolts back. These little bolts that they send in with your pump, make sure you put those back in the new one and save the little red caps. These little things that you pulled out of the new pump and put them back in the old pump when you ship it. So I'm gonna get this core ready to ship so I can ship this core out, and yeah, here you go. Thank you, Redhead, for the gearbox, the second gearbox. I am a customer for life with these things, so thank you.